YouTube, what is up? So today we're gonna be looking at the Infinity Gauntlet Deluxe Marvel Legends series Thanos, Walgreens exclusive Silver Surfer, the Walmart exclusive Thanos, and the Rider series Ghost Rider. So I kind of tied all these in together just so we could create the story of Thanos wins. And man, this story is pretty awesome. Um, I just want to remind you that there's two Thanoses. Is it Thanoses? Is that the right way to say it? Well, there's two different forms of Thanos in this story. That sounds a little bit better, right? So one we have King Thanos, which is uh, this head here, or the Final King, as they call him in the storyline. And we have the regular Thanos. We have the Silver Surfer and Cosmic Ghost Rider. We could have used the Maestro Hulk in this story as well. However, we don't have him quite yet, and I'm not sure if anybody has him at the moment. So that's gonna be due out pretty soon, and that's something that I'm actually looking forward to. That and the Modoc. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about those two. But yeah, here we are, and we're just gonna broad brush over, the Thanos win storyline because that's when we first see the fallen Silver Surfer or the Silver Surfer Black or the worthy Silver Surfer and um, Cosmic Ghost Rider is in Thanos's. Um, how can I say this? Like it's gonna get a little weird, but I want to do a good job of explaining it that way you know what you have, what you can how you can set yourself up and create this storyline. But it is a little strange. So in this story we have two different forms of Thanos, right? And Thanos himself, the younger Thanos, we're just gonna call him straight out Thanos. He's pretty much dying, and he sets out to find a cure, and he has some sort of like god cancer where his body is eating at itself. In this story, Mister's death approaches Thane, which is Thanos' son, and gives him a glimpse of the future where he defeats Thanos. So Thane sets out to get the Phoenix Force, which he does, and he still manages to lose to Thanos, who's ultimately cured by three witches, these sisters in the God Quarry. So, like there's like this hole that you go into called the God Quarry, and if you can make it back out, you're given powers from each of the individuals that are in there, just a piece of it, not like their full power making you stronger. So he gets healed. He gains some of these powers. So Thanos is actually a bit stronger at this point, and he actually defeats Thane, right? Tosses him into the quarry, and he doesn't make it out. He doesn't have the willpower and strength to get himself out of there, so he's pretty much stuck there. And it's revealed that Mister's death made him ill and sent his son after him to challenge him to make her stronger and worthy of her love. And Thanos at this point is like, man, he's pretty pissed. He kind of pushes her away, and he at this point he really doesn't want anything to do with Mister's death. So he jumps in a black hole, disappears, traveling to a moon where he sits on a throne, and he's like, yeah, this is my new home, and you know what, I'm just gonna do whatever it is I have to do from this point. So moving forward, Thanos is in the middle of conquering the Shatari when Cosmic Ghost Rider shows up, and he just pretty much lays waste to all the Shatari and just leaving him and Thanos. So Cosmic Ghost Rider is not all that confusing, right? So this is not your classic Ghost Rider here. This is Frank Castle, right? So Frank Castle, after his family being killed, you know, he ends up getting himself pretty much killed, and with his final breath, he's pretty much saying he'll give anything to avenge his family, and just to have another crack at getting back at everybody. And Mephisto steps in and grants him the power of the Ghost Rider. We actually don't have that in figure form, where it's pretty much Ghost Rider with uh classic Punisher attire. So that if you want to imagine that, and there's plenty of images that you can look up. So at this point, he's pretty much not gonna die, and Thanos lays waste to everybody. So at some point, million years ahead, he's just on Earth by himself, and he can't go after Thanos even if he wanted to. He's approached by Galactus at this point, and Galactus tells him, "Well, you and I, Galactus comes to you know, suck the energy out of this planet, and then move along, and he needs a new herald, so." He's pretty much like, hey, me and you got a common enemy in Thanos. Let's get together. Thus making Punisher, Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider, if that makes sense. So then they set off to go and look for Thanos. And as they approach Thanos, Thanos just lets off this big ass energy blast and just decapitates uh, Galactus. And it's really funny because at some point Thanos sits on a throne that is Galactus's head, which is actually pretty awesome. So yeah, that pretty much covers Cosmic Ghost Rider. So Cosmic Ghost Rider shows up, kills all the Chitauri. He wraps Thanos in chains, and he uses the time stone to take him into the future to meet the final king, which is like millions of years in the future. So there's funny, dialogue going on, and like this Ghost Rider, like he's been on Earth for so long, where he pretty much just loses his mind, man, and he acts more along the lines of being like Deadpool than you would think like the Punisher would act. Like he's just delusional and nobody to talk to for eons. So yeah, that kind of covers him, right? So yeah, they go to meet the final king millions of years in the future. Thanos sees the final king and realize like they're pretty much the same person. He doesn't believe it at first, and after a fight, Thanos, you know, uh, King Thanos reveals that, hey, I need your help in bringing back, Mistress Death. And he's pretty much killed every being throughout the galaxy at this point, and Mistress Death still hasn't appeared to him. And there's one last being that's still alive, and that's the Silver Surfer. And he really wants to kill the Silver Surfer in order to for Mistress Death to reveal herself again. So the final king has pretty much killed everybody in the galaxy for Mistress Death except for the Silver Surfer. They sit down, they have dinner, they talk, and after dinner, King Thanos pretty much tells Thanos, "Hey, the Surfer is gonna be here soon." At this point, it jumps into a story which, not a story, but it jumps into where Cosmic Ghost Rider and Thanos are like having a conversation, and he's like, "Hey, you want to help me feed the dog?" So they go down into like a dungeon area, and it's revealed that their dog is pretty much the Hulk. So you have Maestro Hulk, tied up like a dog, and they're just feeding him scraps, and who knows how long he's been there. But that's what I was talking about earlier, as far as us getting a Maestro Hulk figure, and if we wanted to, you know, create like a shelf for these figures, telling this story of Thanos wins, that would be a welcomed addition to the collection. And again, like I said, man, I'm pretty happy about that. So So the Silver Surfer shows up with the Annihilus Horde, and they pretty much attack him. You know, Thanos, King Thanos asks, like, hey, what took you so long? And yeah, it's revealed that the Silver Surfer is wielding Milner, and he was like, yeah, I've been working on becoming worthy. Which, man, that it was pretty dope. Like, if you read the story, like, it was actually really, really awesome to see that. So Ghost Rider is like, he's like so powerful at this time, the Cosmic Ghost Rider, and it's like he really doesn't know how to use his powers. Like, there's no way that, like, he couldn't have just used like a pin and stare on the Silver Surfer and like break him down with all the stuff that he's done, even though like the Silver Surfer has done it just, in becoming the Herald of Galactus, helping him decide on and finding, planets that he can consume. But he has caused a lot of death. And even though, it's kind of one of those things that there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen with you or without you. And the Silver Surfer, kind of unwillingly yet willingly helped him. And it's funny that I say it that way because he always tends to try to take him to places and planets where it's desolate, there's no life, or there's very little life, and sometimes he just can't help him. And it's like, well, yeah, we just got to consume this planet, and so you can feed and not destroy planets that are, occupied with millions upon millions of people. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, and so what was I at? I kind of lost my train of thought. So anyway, Ghost Rider destroys this horde, and then King Thanos is blasted, off in the distance by the Silver Surfer. Ghost Rider comes in on like a board of flame, similar to like the Surfer's board, and then Surfer takes Milner and hits Cosmic Ghost Rider with like this cold uppercut and just like knocks him into smithereens, like breaking his jaw. You see teeth all over the panel. It is really, really dope, man. Like, I can't stress how awesome this story is. And he pretty much kills the Cosmic Ghost Rider and sends him to Valhalla, where he ends up running into Odin. And they have conversations, and the Cosmic Ghost Rider's like, yeah, like, so this is heaven, you know what I'm saying? And like, how did I end up here? And Odin's pretty much telling him like, oh, you're welcomed here, you know what I mean? Like, where else are you gonna go? And Ghost Rider, the Punisher, well, he's back in Frank Castle form, and he's like, yeah, man, I still feel like there's a lot more work for me to do, and now I'm dead, and I'm here, and I'm just hanging out doing nothing. Like, and he's like, well, dude, if you want to leave, you can leave, and I'll send you back anywhere you want to go. So that's where we get into where Thanos ends up becoming the Punisher. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. That's a totally different story, and that's like way after this. So we're not gonna go that too far in depth into that story. So at this point, uh, Cosmic Ghost Rider gets smashed by Milner. Hulk ends up jumping through the ground, and he's like punching the Silver Surfer with like no effect, right? Like, he's just throwing haymakers at him, and the Silver Surfer is just eating it like, whatever, dude. And then he's like, hey, Hulk, like, Bruce Banner, like, we're cool with each other. And like, he grabs him and like, he pretty much talks him down and like de-escalates him to where he turns right back into Bruce Banner. And you know, Thanos, young Thanos, comes in, and he's like, you know, bro, like I'm gonna end up killing you with that hammer. And it's kind of weird because it's like, how are you gonna even lift this hammer? But yeah, so they're having this dialogue. King Thanos comes back. At this point, Silver Surfer's like shielding Bruce Banner, and King Thanos comes up from behind with a sword and just stabs both of them through the back. Like, this sword is so long, it impales both of them at the same time. And then that's when Thanos comes over, and they're just whipping the Silver Surfer. And some of these panels are pretty awesome. And you see King Thanos takes the sword and pretty much hacks his arm off, and that's pretty much it. At this point, no, that's not it at all. Then Thanos grabs the Silver Surfer by the head. I don't want to forget about this part. Slams his head on the handle of Milner, like piercing his, like slams his head through the hammer, the handle, and that's how Silver Surfer ends up getting killed in this story, man. And then you have like Thanos and King Thanos about to square off, because then Thanos realizes, hey, wait a minute, you didn't bring me here because you needed help to kill the Silver Surfer. You brought me here because we needed to fight, and one of us needed to die in order for Mister's death to approve of one of us. So she ends up showing up in like a wedding dress, or and not, well, maybe not so much a wedding dress, but a dress. She's like dressed for a wedding and a funeral. We'll say it that way, right? So then it's like Thanos and King Thanos gets into like this match where they're going at it, and Thanos gets the upper hand on King Thanos, and he's like, "Yeah, why don't you go ahead and kill me, and that way I could join Mister's death, or one of us can have her in the end, right?" And young Thanos is like, "Man, I don't want nothing to do with her at all after what she's put me through. Like, I'm pretty much done with this lady." So this is gonna be a long video, and I'm sorry. Feel free to skip ahead, but this is pretty much it. So yeah, so yeah, where we at? So yeah, Thanos whips King Thanos and tells him he doesn't want no part of Mister's death, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna take this time stone, and I'm pretty much out of here." And King Thanos is there with Mister's death, and he's like, "Well, what happened? Like, so what happens now?" And Mister's death pretty much tells him he won. So Thanos sets out to never become King Thanos, and changes the timeline where King Thanos really never existed, and that's pretty much the conclusion of that. And then it jumps into Cosmic Ghost Rider and Thanos. Well, Ghost Rider pretty much raising Thanos into baby as his kid, and that's just a total different story. Then you have this new Silver Surfer, which is in the King of Black, and that's the kind of weird thing. Like, we don't really know where this Silver Surfer came from. We just know that he looks like this in this story. But then we get into Silver Surfer Black, and then we get into the Black King, and then we discover how he became the Silver Surfer. If you guys want that story, like, I could tell that story, but we really need to dive into these figures. 20 minutes in, and we haven't cracked open a single figure. Like, yeah, my bad. But yeah, let's pause this and crack these open. All right, so here we have them all out of package. And man, I'm pretty happy with these figures, especially the Ghost Rider. Like, I've seen the reviews and I've had him in hand for quite some time. It's just I never opened him, and I didn't think I would like him as much as I do, just because of the way the hips look. It kind of looks really wonky. The dome on his head, it's just kind of I don't know. It's just, to me it looked unattractive. But having him in hand, man, it's actually pretty dope, and it's not as bad of a figure as I thought it would be. And this is a really, really awesome figure. And we may have some too much going on in the background, but yeah, man, this is pretty cool. Take this dome off. I wanted to see if you can put the old Hawkeye head, the old man Hawkeye head on this one, just to see if it would fit, because it's actually kind of the way Frank Castle looks in this storyline. But yeah, man, this is a pretty awesome figure. The accessories are dope. The bike is dope. Probably the best Rider series figure we've got. And I'm saying that, and a lot of people might argue and say something else and Definitely not the Deadpool. The Deadpool was pretty cool with the little whatever moped, but yeah, Wolverine not so much. The Punisher maybe, and I haven't even got to that figure yet, and he's just back here camping out. So maybe this one. I'm not sure, but as of today, in my opinion, yeah, it's gonna be that Ghost Rider. And here's a do not fall. Here's a closer look at the bike, which is pretty dope in itself, different from anything we've gotten so far. And I've seen people like add little lights in here and make this light up, and it's pretty dope. Really good looking bike there. The guns are awesome. You know, like I kind of thought, not necessarily thought because I've seen them, kind of wish that they were the same, but they're not. They're subtle differences in them. I don't know if you can see that there. They're a little different, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me nitpicking. And then let's jump into Walmart. And this one was actually a pretty good figure too. It's not too bad. I mean, we've seen it before though, right? Like the Build-A-Figure that we got with this guy here. Like, makes me just not want to look at that figure anymore. But this Thanos. Now let's go back and look at a couple of things. So we know that this is from the Infinity Gauntlet, right? And it says so clearly on the package. And man, do we need a Mistress Death, man. That's going to be so awesome. So the Mad Titan Thanos seizes control of the hollow Infinity Gauntlet and wields near what? Omnipotent power? Okay. Who can stop the vicious new overlord. And that's pretty dope. Like, even, like, look at that cartoon look right there. Comic book look. It's really awesome. It's kind of weird looking the way he's sitting. But yeah, we know that this is from the Infinity Gauntlet. But so is the Walmart, right? And it says, armed for war, Thanos wields the Infinity Gauntlet and plots to take over the galaxy, right? However, this is more of an Infinity Gauntlet look than this, and this body does not represent the Final King or King Thanos at all. None of these bodies do. In fact, like, it's not even close. The colors are off. The attire is just way off. But that's neither here nor there. Like, maybe somewhere down the line we may get one. Like, I don't know. But if I am going to do anything with these figures, that's going to be my regular Thanos. This Infinity Gauntlet one, if I don't use it as an Infinity Gauntlet Thanos, I'm going to use it as the King Thanos. Because this head, although it does fit on the smaller body, I just don't think it's going to look as good as this, right? And that's if I do it that way. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with these figures other than keep them. So this head is removable and swappable. And that's actually not a bad look either, man. Man, this is going to be a tough call. But yeah, that's a good look. But I tend to like it more on the older body. And the head from this figure should fit on this one. However, it's going to be way the hell off. And it's not too bad. The colors are way off, though. The blues and stuff, well, I mean, it's more of a metallic blue. So that's not gonna look well. So let's see, what other head did we get? Oh, we got this head, and that's the same one with the Walmart on the deluxe version. Okay, get on there. And that is a good look, but the colors are way off. And if you don't have the Walmart Thanos, and you have the Build-A-Figure. I suppose you can use the body from the bath. Mine for some reason is a little wobbly, but it's always been that way. Like my stuff doesn't get played with at all. But the golds are not gonna match up. So yeah, this is not gonna be a really good look for anything other than being the bath. So that's not bad, but it doesn't work. So yeah, this figure is pretty much I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say it's trash. It was good for its time, but for me, I'm probably gonna have to go something along the lines of Thanos, and then King Thanos, which I don't mind. So that's pretty cool. So we don't need to talk about this guy anymore. We'll take him down. We did get alternate heads. So we got the Infinity, more of the Infinity Gauntlet look here for Thanos. And then we have this head. And I'm not sure like whether to call this a more of a modern look, because it is a modern look, but I don't know if that's how he looks today, because it doesn't quite look right, and I don't quite. This might be like just a. I have no idea, because I don't remember him looking like that, for the most part. Like that could be just me. Like I think his look is entirely different, but yeah, man, really really dope. Everything's dropping now, and then we have the Silver Surfer, which is actually pretty cool figure. Like when I first seen it, I kind of was like, whatever, like dude, like okay, cool, we're getting a new Silver Surfer, and I pretty much have the silver one, and it's kind of like, yeah, let me get this one, because this is actually a pretty dope tie-in with these figures. And then we got some of this stuff inserts that came with them. That chair, man, is actually pretty dope. Like I don't mind getting like a throne series. Like, could you imagine like getting like a throne series of from Marvel Legends? Wouldn't that be like pretty sick? Like, I don't know how you would determine who gets a damn throne, but you got Doom, right? You got Thanos. Who else would have a throne? Mephisto. Man, you name it. You can do like not necessarily a throne, but like let's say for Iron Man, you can build like something like his Hall of Armor. Like I think, man, there's so many. Man, let me not give these guys Hasbro too many ideas, but I can actually see that happen. Like, like no joke. Like that'd be kind of cool in the same breath. But yeah, man. Let's should we call it a wrap? Should we show off some more of this stuff here? Because I really didn't talk about anything like some of these Gauntlet Hands. Let's see if this will pull off. And so here are the hands that we did get. And while these two are almost the exact same, this is the Walmart. Excuse me, this is the Walmart version. This is the Deluxe series, and you can tell that it's the same hand, and it's just scaled up a little bit. It's a little bigger, and the pegs are different, so you're not going to get these confused. So these hands are not swappable. And then we got that classic pointing finger from Thanos there with the Infinity Gauntlet. Maybe I'd have to move some of this stuff out of the background. But yeah, man, I'm probably gonna set these up on my shelf, and I'm pretty happy about it. I might use like a different backdrop for these. Try to maybe incorporate that. Man, I'm thinking about even building a damn throne for them. But like, if you have one of these, and this is something that I found like at Hobby Lobby, if you guys want like to get like somewhat semi-creative and have like, yeah, now I feel like I'm doing way too much. But yeah, maybe I'm gonna set this up real quick and then take a picture, and that would be the thumbnail for this video. Anyways, guys, please like, subscribe if you like what we're doing with this channel. Yeah, it helps. So please like, subscribe, and take care.